Welcome to the latest Manchester United update. Big decisions for Ruben Amorim as Man United prepare to face Real Sociedad. Police Carlight Plus, a £35 million striker transfer boost, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe's challenge to the squad. Stay tuned for all the latest news. Let's dive in. Duo return and midfield decision made. Manchester United predicted lineup versus Real Sociedad. Man United will be looking to progress to the Europa League quarterfinals when they face Real Sociedad in the second leg of their last 16 tie. Manchester United will be looking to keep their Europa League hopes alive when they welcome Real Sociedad to Old Trafford on Thursday night. The round of 16 tie is finally poised at 1-1 following last week's first leg in San Sebastián. United took the lead in Spain via Joshua Zirkzee but soon saw his goal wiped out by a Mikel Oyarzabal penalty. United have played since last Thursday's stalemate at the Real Arena, drawing 1-1 with Arsenal at Old Trafford on Sunday. They once again took the lead but failed to hold on despite producing an encouraging second-half performance. Ahead of the visit of Imanol Alguacil's side, United boss Ruben Amorim confirmed Manuel Ugarte is back in contention following his recent injury, but both Lenny Yoro and Harry Maguire will miss out. Andre Onana is expected to start in goal as he goes in search of his first clean sheet since the 1-0 win over Fulham at Craven Cottage on January 26. He has featured 7 times in the Europa League this season. Patrick Dorgu will make another brief return from his 3-game domestic ban, meaning he should start at left wing-back. His inclusion is likely to see Diogo Dalot move back to the right-sided wing-back role. Noussair Mazraoui can move into the back 3. The Moroccan is most likely to operate alongside Matthijs de Ligt and Victor Lindelof, but Aiden Heaven will be pushing for his first start for the club after another bright cameo against Arsenal. Depending on his fitness levels, Amorim will almost certainly be tempted to throw Ugarte straight back into the center of midfield. He has missed the last 2 games, last featuring against Fulham in the FA Cup on March 2nd. However, he may not be prepared to take too big a risk, meaning Casemiro could retain his place in the center alongside Bruno Fernandes. The latter has been more effective from a deeper position in recent weeks. In attack, Rasmus Højlund could return after starting the draw with Arsenal on the bench. He will be desperate to end his 20-game goal drought by adding to the 5 goals he has scored in the Europa League already this season. If the Dane starts, Zirkzee could drop back into the left-sided number 10 position, with Alejandro Garnacho continuing from the opposite side. United predicted 11 versus Real Sociedad. Onana, Mazraoui, de Ligt, Lindelof, Dalot, Casemiro, Fernandes, Dorgu, Garnacho, Zirkzee, Højlund. Man United given green light to complete £35 million transfer for striker after Arsenal failure. Manchester United have been told that Juventus striker Dusan Vlahovic could be available this summer for a reasonable fee. Ruben Amorim's team have had a tough time finding the back of the net this season, with United managing to score only 34 goals in the Premier League to date. The current Reds forwards, Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee, have together scored a mere 13 goals across all competitions. United were credited with an interest in signing Vlahovic in January as they look to fix their goal-scoring woes, with Arsenal also linked. The Serbian has scored more goals, 14, this season than United's current strike force put together, with Juventus asking for a reported fee of £35 million for his services this summer. And those rumors will be fueled by the latest update from journalist Fabrizio Romano. The Italian, who specializes in football transfers, has opened up on Vlahovic's future in his latest newsletter for Give Me Sport. When asked if the forward could be available for a bargain fee this summer, he said, "Yes, it can be, as he's out of contract in 2026 and several clubs are interested, in England but also in other countries. It's an open story." United have already been handed a clear indication by the player himself what tactics best suit his style of play, which could end up being a message to Reds boss Amorim. "Yes, I like to play with another striker on the side. I get on well, but it also depends on the coach," Vlahovic said in an interview with RSI in November, via Calciomercato. "Definitely, it is a bit easier because Aleksandar Mitrovic is a strong player who plays a lot with his back to goal and engaging in aerial duels, and I can exploit my qualities. It's also because Coach Dragan Stojkovic didn't force me to do so many defensive tasks. And for a player like me, for my frame, honestly I can't run so much, because then I am not fresh in the final third. Man United news. Ruben Amorim challenges players after brutal Sir Jim Ratcliffe remark. Ruben Amorim is calling on his underperforming Manchester United stars to prove Sir Jim Ratcliffe wrong, starting with tonight's meeting against Real Sociedad at Old Trafford. Manchester United face Real Sociedad on Thursday in the second leg of their Europa League round of 16 tie, with head coach Ruben Amorim calling on his players to prove owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe wrong. After the Ineos chief claimed some players were overpaid and not good enough, in an interview at the start of the week, Amorim said that everyone is underperforming, with United languishing 14th in the Premier League. But the Portuguese, who is close to welcoming back Mason Mount from his latest injury, added, "The focus is to change his mind and change all the people's minds." Here are the big stories from in and around Old Trafford over the past 24 hours. Mount boost. Mason Mount has made his latest return to Manchester United training in a boost to Ruben Amorim. The England international is close to being involved after 3 months out with a hamstring injury sustained in the derby when away to Manchester City in mid-December. Mount, 26, has spent more time in the treatment room than on the pitch since moving to Old Trafford from Chelsea in the summer of 2023. He has made 32 appearances in all competitions across 19 months, scoring just 1 goal. But he was involved in yesterday's session at Carrington. Rashford cost. Manchester United could be forced to pay out £20 million if Marcus Rashford leaves this summer, with the England star facing an uncertain future at Old Trafford. Rashford is currently playing for Aston Villa on loan after falling out with Ruben Amorim at United, and it appears unlikely he will return to his boyhood club in the summer. Villa have an option to sign Rashford permanently for £40 million if his loan deal is a success, but it is unlikely Unai Emery's side would be able to pay his huge salary of £325,000 a week. While United could end up pocketing £40 million for Rashford, the club could end up paying off the rest of his contract to satisfy his demands, which adds up to around £20 million. Stadium challenge. Sebastian Coe reckons the legacy of Manchester United's new £2 billion stadium can be even bigger than that of the London 2012 Olympics. Lord Coe played a major role in the successful 2012 Olympics bid and the regeneration of the area around the London Stadium, now home to West Ham. He believes the same effect can happen in the area around Old Trafford, with United's new state-of-the-art stadium the centerpiece of the regeneration plan, but on an even greater scale. Ruben Amorim must avoid repeating big mistake for Manchester United against Real Sociedad. He has 4 solutions. Manchester United's season could be defined on Thursday in the Europa League round of 16 second leg. After a 1-1 draw in San Sebastian last Thursday, Ruben Amorim will know defeat at Old Trafford will see his side left with nothing to play for this season. Real Sociedad will travel to face Manchester United, in a game with huge stakes for the home side. Sitting 14th in the league and out of the 2 domestic cup competitions, this is the final chance for something positive to come from this season. Last week United drew 1-1 against Sociedad, which was an unfortunate scoreline with United deserving more from the game. Amorim was left short of options in the game with just 7 players on his bench, including 2 goalkeepers. Amorim has often not filled his bench for United, which betrays his reputation of giving youth a chance, and he must not repeat this error against Sociedad this week. Ruben Amorim must name a full bench against Real Sociedad. When Amorim was first appointed, one of several reasons for excitement was his commitment to utilizing the academy. At Sporting Lisbon, Amorim gave out 27 academy debuts, which we fully expect to see at United as well, which makes the decision not to involve youngsters on the bench when it isn't full baffling. The bench was 5 names less than the opposition and had 0 options for Amorim to turn to in attack. Therefore, after the substitution of a sulking Alejandro Garnacho, United were utterly toothless. What made the decision more frustrating was that Amorim had involved a handful of possible options in training the day before. This week, Amorim must avoid repeating history by filling his bench and using the youngsters who are clearly rated. Ruben Amorim would be in a much stronger position by filling Manchester United bench. With United Academy graduate 253 seeming imminent, there would be no time better than against Sociedad. Last week, United physically struggled due to a lack of rotation over the past month, and so Amorim must give himself options. Assuming the bench from last week remains in place, along with the returning Manuel Ugarte, United could include a handful of talented youngsters in the squad. Jack Fletcher, Jack Morehouse, James Scanlon, Tyler Fredrickson. Even if Amorim has zero intention of playing them, it does no harm to have the kids on the bench, and it also puts Amorim in a stronger position. Without giving himself the option to play youngsters, Amorim will be limited, which could backfire should the game go all the way to extra time. It is time he showed some trust, and we would expect that we will see them in the squad and potentially some debuts awarded, depending on how the night goes.